This is the eHealth Radio Network, your source for health advice on demand. And now your host, Eric Michaels.
Thanks for joining us once again here on the eHealth Radio Network. This is your host, Eric Michaels. Today on the program, we're speaking with Dr. Melissa Crum, an acupuncturist, herbalist, and founder of the Flower Remedy, a line that combines nature's ultimate homeopathic healing remedies with all natural ingredients and flower essences. And Dr. Crum, thanks for joining us here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, you're certainly more than welcome. Looking forward to hearing from you today. So tell us, and I'm sure listeners would be curious, what are flower essences?
Yeah, so flower essences are a group of natural remedies, and they're made specifically to address emotional imbalances. So the flower essences that I work with were created by Dr. Edward Bach in the 1930s. And they are very specific. There are 38 of them. And so they very specifically treat what emotional imbalances you're working on. So, for example, something like stress, to me, is a very complicated set of emotional imbalances, right? It's just not one blanket thing. So, for example, there is a flower essence that will just deal with overwhelm. There's one that deals with like generalized fears. There's one that helps for self-confidence. So as you can see, they are very targeted in what they treat and very effective from what I've seen.
Thanks for the coverage there, the full details, and that is very, very interesting. Now, how can they be used to alleviate stress? I'm sure listeners would love to hear about that.
For sure. I think everybody has some level of stress. It's just a matter of just living in this world. The way that it can help us with stress is that we can't really control, what's going on around us. We can't control other people's actions, right? And we don't know. Sometimes things just come up that we really don't even anticipate. And so what the flower essences do is they actually help to create a homeostasis. They help to create a balance, and it helps you to have a healthy, less charged reaction when there's a stressful situation. So I think by just balancing you, creating that homeostasis is how they can really help you to deal with stress.
Yeah, thanks for your feedback there as well. Now, what would a typical protocol look like for someone looking to use flower essences to manage or alleviate their stress levels?
Yeah, so typically it depends. If you're going through a stressful time in your life, let's say you're just, who knows, it could be just some kind of change or something that's a really highly charged, stressful situation for you, you would use them probably 4 times a day. And usually what they do is they come in a little treatment bottle, and you only need 4 drops 4 times a day. You could put them in water, you can put them directly under your tongue, and then you can put a dropper full in maybe a water bottle and kind of sip them throughout the day. If you're just to carry a formula with me that helps with stress, and so maybe I'm not feeling, a generalized kind of stress in my life, but something may arise. Let's just say, for example, you're in traffic and you're late for a meeting and you feel stressed out. So you can just kind of take them situationally too. And it can really help to just bring that intention back to, peace. And it really does help with your homeostasis and how you react to that stress.
Really do appreciate the details shared so far today. We're speaking with Dr. Melissa Crum, an acupuncturist, herbalist, and founder of the Flower Remedy, a line that combines nature's ultimate homeopathic healing remedies with all natural ingredients and flower essences here on eHealth Radio's Health News and Stress Management channels, a part of the eHealth Radio Network. Now, continuing on, can anyone use flower essences? Are they safe for those taking other medications?
Yes, anybody can use them because they're highly effective. I always consider them to be, subtle but profound in their effects. And most of us have, just from living in the world, do have some emotional balance that we could always use. Because they're very safe and can be taken with other medications because they are vibrational or energetic medicine. So they work on a different level than, say, prescribed medicines or even herbs or over the counters. And so they don't interact, and they're safe yet very effective.
That certainly is some good news on that front. Now, where can someone purchase your flower essences, and how are yours different from others on the market?
So you can go to my website. It's called The Flower Remedy. It's www.theflowerremedy.com. And I have 4 different formulas that I've created. I noticed in my clinical practice, there were 4 kind of things that came up very regularly for people. So I have a formula called Peaceful Feeling, that's for stress. I have one that's called Happy Heart, that's for emotional support, for, to help when you're feeling a little down. I have Peaceful Night, which helps with sleep. And there's one for motivation and kind of to help with energy and to kind of to get going. I also have a room spray that has flower essences in it. And the way that I'm different is that my formulas not only include the flower essences, they also include some classical homeopathy. And they work in the same way. They're both vibrational or energetic medicine. And so they work really well together. And I think just adding that classical homeopathy into it even makes them more effective.
Dr. Crum, we want to thank you for your time spent with us here today on eHealth Radio, and thanks for joining us on behalf of the Flower Remedy. Before you go in conclusion, any closing thoughts, a takeaway, a tip, or anything else you'd like to mention as we conclude today?
As part of a healthy lifestyle, it's so important to have strategies and ways for dealing with stress. As you know, stress can cause not only emotional issues, but it can also cause physical issues. So just by having a strategy to deal with stress can really help not only your emotional state, but your physical well-being as well. So I think these flower essences can work very well in conjunction with other techniques or on their own.
And of course, for more details and to shop around, visit theflowerremedy.com. Dr. Crum, all the best. Thanks so much for joining us here today on eHealth Radio.
Thanks so much for having me.
And it certainly was our pleasure. Again, we've been speaking with Dr. Melissa Crum, an acupuncturist, herbalist, and founder of the Flower Remedy, a line that combines nature's ultimate homeopathic healing remedies with all natural ingredients and flower essences. And for further details, visit theflowerremedy.com. And again, this has been your host, Eric Michaels, and we do thank you for your continued support of the eHealth Radio Network. Join us again soon for another episode that will help further expand your knowledge on those things that are important to your health and wellness. For more eHealth Radio reports, we invite you to visit our main radio channel site at eHealthRadioNetwork.com. And as always, we do thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to the eHealth Radio Network. For more information or to subscribe to this podcast, visit eHealthRadioNetwork.com.